Hi everyone, welcome to Doctors on Quest. If you are a junior doctor thinking about Australia, or you are already somewhere in the process and feeling confused or stuck, this video is for you. Today, we'll start by briefly explaining the usual pathways to get AHPRA general registration. And then we will talk about a lesser known but practical alternative that many doctors are actually using right now. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer, this video is not an official advice. All registrations are assessed individually by AHPRA and rules can change over time. Please always check the latest AHPRA guidelines before making any exams or migration decisions. Pathway 1, AMC Part 1 and then AMC Part 2. This is a traditional AMC pathway. You first pass AMC Part 1, which is a multiple choice exam. After that, you pass your AMC Part 2, which is a clinical exam. Once both the exams are completed, you become eligible for general registration. The challenge here is that AMC Part 2 has limited seats, long waiting times, and a relatively high difficulty level. Pathway 2, AMC Part 1 with work-based assessment. The second common pathway is WBA. Here is how it works. You pass AMC Part 1, then you start working in Australia under limited registration. While working, you enroll into a work-based assessment or WBA. WBA is essentially structured assessment done at your workplace over several months. It includes things like mini-KECs, case-based discussions, and supervisor reports. Once your WBA is successfully completed and signed off, you can apply for general registration. The issue here is that WBA positions are limited and not all hospitals offer them. The Pathway 3, the Competent Authority Pathway. The third pathway is the Competent Authority Pathway. This applies if you have passed your PLAB 1 and 2 or graduated or trained in systems similar to Australia such as UK, Ireland, USA, New Zealand and few other countries. This pathway usually need a shorter period of supervised practice in Australia, often 47 weeks, before becoming eligible for general registration. Today, we are only talking about the junior doctor pathways. So, these are the main commonly explained pathways to general registration in Australia. But what happens if you passed PLAB but can't get an NHS job? You're working in the NHS but want to move to Australia faster. You're already in Australia but stuck with AMC Part 2 or WBA. This is where the alternative pathway comes in. PLAB with AMC Part 1 with Australian experience. Let's break this down clearly. This video applies to three main groups of doctors. First, doctors who passed PLAB exams but couldn't get an NHS job. Second, doctors already working in the NHS but want to move to Australia sooner. Third, doctors already in Australia who are stuck with AMC Part 2 or WBA. Let's go through these one by one. Group 1. Passed your PLAB exams but no NHS job. If you have passed your PLAB 1 and 2 but you are unable to secure an NHS job, instead of waiting endlessly, there is another option. You can sit at AMC Part 1. Once you pass your AMC Part 1, you can apply for medical jobs in Australia and start working under limited registration. While working under limited registration, you should complete 1 year of supervised practice. After that 1 year, you can use your PLAB 1 and 2 and your 1 year of Australian experience to apply for general registration. This means no NHS experience is required. Let's compare this briefly. If you follow the traditional UK to Australia Competent Authority pathway, you usually need 1 year in the NHS and 1 year in Australia. That's 2 years. With this pathway, you work 1 year in Australia only, entirely in Australia, and still reach general registration. For many doctors, this saves time, money, and a lot of uncertainties. Now let's talk about doctors already working in the NHS. If you haven't completed 1 full year, or you are unsure if your contract will get renewed, or you can still consider this pathway. If you pass AMC Part 1, you can apply directly for jobs in Australia, start working under limited registration, and later use your PLAB 1 and 2 instead of going to the AMC Part 2 or WBA. So again, you're not forced to stay in the NHS if Australia is your long-term goal. This is very common. Some doctors in Australia have passed AMC Part 1, are already working under limited registration, but are struggling to find a WBA position, get an AMC 2 exam seat, or pass AMC Part 2. In this situation, many doctors choose to sit PLAB 1 and 2. Then they use their PLAB results plus 1 year of Australian supervised practice to apply for general registration instead of waiting for AMC or WBA. Again, this depends on AHPRA assessment, but it is currently possible. A few important points to remember: this pathway is not automatic. Each case is assessed individually, guidelines can change, and job availability varies by location and timing. So always verify the latest AHPRA rules before committing to any exams. We made this video because this pathway is rarely explained clearly, even though many doctors are already using it. If you're feeling stuck, just know there are alternatives. If this video helped you, follow Doctors on Quest and check out our other videos. We are just sharing what we wish we had known earlier. Thanks for watching.